So, there we go. Rift is... yeah. Rift is down there. But since that is a pay-to-play MMO, and I have limited time, I basically won't be able to get to all of these, at least not for a while. So it doesn't make sense for me to buy all of these, or at least not at launch. So, we're gonna go through these. So Marvel vs. Capcom 3. That's kind of low priority. That's kind of low priority in as much as I am not a hardcore fighting game fan. I'm a great fan of the Super Smash Bros. Series, but I'm not that interested in fighting games that require complex button and stick inputs to execute moves and do various technique stuff. I'm not a fan of technical type fighting games. I greatly prefer the simple mind outsmarting your opponent kind of stuff, like in Smash Brothers. Sure, there are techniques and stuff in Smash Brothers, but yeah, it's more about mind games, or at least my play style is. So if I can't do the moves I want to do, it's just really frustrating. So, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I am going to put as a multiplayer game. I'm going to assume there's no real single player to it. It's just a progression of fighting different characters, like pretty much all fighting games story sort of modes are. So, that's going to go down here. That's one that I definitely will get eventually. Not likely to be right away, but eventually I definitely will get Marvel vs. Capcom 3. You could be saying, okay, why won't you get it right away when there's a couple weeks of it before Rift comes out? Basically, Rift Beta. Rift's got 3 more betas, including this Phase 5, and then there's a pre-order head start. So there's actually a kind of a lot of Rift that's going to be going on before it actually is released on March 1st. So that's why I don't think I'd have that much time for Marvel vs. Capcom 3 if I were to buy it right away. So I'd kind of rather just wait, see if the price goes down to like $40 or something after a few months, or I might get it a little sooner. I've basically been playing around with a soul tree calculator for Rift, planning out builds for my characters, and as long as the content is there that keeps the game interesting, the builds will keep me playing Rift for a very long time. There's actually something called Founders Pricing for Rift, where basically if you sign up a subscription within the first 2 weeks of its being out or something like that, you get an extra discount on plans or whatever, and you keep that discount for your lifetime basically, unless you cancel or change the plan. So basically, you can sign up for 6 months of Rift for $10 a month, which is pretty nice. Basically, with that $60, you would normally get 4 months at $15 a month. So basically, you get 50% longer with the same amount of money. It's a pretty good deal. So I'm planning on starting off with that 6 months thing, and if it's still a lot of fun in 6 months, I'll buy another 6 months. It's basically the cost of one console game every 6 months. Yeah, not that expensive compared to how many console games you could be buying for the same amount of entertainment. People often complain about the whole subscription model of stuff. They don't like handing out $15 every month, but when you look at it, it's really not that much money. And when it's $10 every month, then it's really not that much money. So yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is definitely a buy. Bulletstorm. If you don't know what Bulletstorm is, it's kind of hard to describe, I guess. You're kind of like this super soldier that has superpowers that kicks everybody's ass, and that's sort of the premise of the game. And the game looks really cool, but I take issue with that premise of kicking so much ass, because what they do is they make the game about points, and the more stylish your kills are, the more points you get. So it's kind of like this weird leaderboard points competitive first person shooter kind of thing, which I really don't like. I don't like games that are easy to basically beat, but it's all about getting points, because then you're always trying to game the system, basically. You're always trying to figure out, okay, what's going to give me the most points in this scenario? You use this ability to do this, and basically it's gonna become all figured out, and people will put up videos online of how they got this amount of points, and then everyone's gonna copy them, and people will do it like slightly better and get like 2 more points out of like 1,000 or something, and they'll have the world record now. It's gonna be pretty stupid. Basically, I don't think, from what I've seen of the game, I am not really going to enjoy it that much. But I don't want to completely rule it out yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right about here. So basically, if there's something amazing that gets announced for it, I'll buy it. But otherwise, I'm not really interested in it. And basically, I'll move it down to the bottom here if nothing that really grabs my interest is added to the game, or should I say, announced for the game. So, what was that called? Bulletstorm, that's what it was called. So that's Bulletstorm. Speaking of games to add down here, I need to add 2 games that came out recently. Little Big Planet 2. I never even beat the Little Big Planet campaign. Yeah. It just wasn't interesting enough for me. It's too, it's not really that it's too simple. They even added a bunch of kind of cool things to it. Like there's like a little grappling hook kind of thing for getting you around and stuff. There's definitely a lot of new stuff in Little Big Planet 2 that makes me say that